welcome. My name is Samaya Anwar.
And I'm Mimi Launder.
And today on campus we are going to get people's opinions about cycling in London.
You've actually got quite I can see fluorescent, I think.
Yeah, well, my parents insisted that if I was going to cycle in London I had to have
it's good that you're actually
lights, and yeah, I know, I get daily texts about being safe, so.
Where does this go? What do you...
This is like just one of those sort of sashes. It's a bit, I think you sort of just wrap it over your front.
That's quite cool.
Yeah, it's kind of okay. It's better than the...
I would wear that when I'm not cycling.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to do, and I think you can actually put it over your backpack as well so people can see you from behind.
Have you had experiences with danger?
Not wear a helmet would have helped, but I've had places where I've nearly been hit, but only I've never actually come off my bike, but one of my friends has. He got his head smashed open.
Was that from a lorry or a car?
That was a minivan, yeah.
Minivan, ow.
Have you had any personal experiences, or do you find it quite safe?
Dangers actually just the other day.
Oh, okay.
So it was about in the afternoon where on the cycle lane, so someone actually just stepped right in front of me without looking.
Oh wow.
And I braked so hard that I actually flew over.
As in they drove in front of you?
No, sorry,
walking?
walking. Pedestrian just walking.
So you get dangers from all angles as a cyclist?
Exactly, yeah. So you never really know.
The last time I cycled was when I got knocked over.
What happened? When was this?
This was a couple of years ago, and I haven't cycled since.
What exactly happened? Who hit you?
Okay, I was on a long bike ride going.
Is this in London?
Yeah, I was going over Tower Bridge at the time, and I was cycling on the pavement a bit too fast, and a car swerved in front of me, and I slammed my brakes on really suddenly, and I flipped over the handlebars and ended up spread eagled on the floor.
Did you hurt yourself?
I hurt my pride, but yeah, I did
your pride. That's the worst
I hurt
thing to
myself,
hurt.
yeah.
Jesus.
But I'm pretty lucky because I could have smashed.
So it was solely the driver's fault for going in a cycle lane?
No, it's my fault for
Your
being
fault.
an idiot as well.
Okay, makes sense. Do you think it's due to motorists as much as cyclists?
No, I think cyclists get a hard time. A lot of motorists say, oh, they don't pay road tax, they don't have the right to be on the road.
Yeah.
We have the right to turn here, etc.
And they're bigger, they can be more powerful, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Recently there have been quite a few deaths in a very short period of time, and the government's response seems to be handing out fines. Do you think that's a good enough response or too small scale?
It's too small scale to make a significant difference. I mean, I think probably to make cycling safer in London it needs, well, both education of the cyclists and also, of course, you need the appropriate cycle tracks, cycle paths, which London has a reasonable number of, and then of course the main part is the problem of educating the road users. But just handing out fines is,
it's not really good enough. And at what point would you say education would be efficient from, school, or as soon as someone decides, I think I'm going to cycle instead of taking the tube?
Well, I mean, from the school level, I don't know the level of people being taught to cycle anymore. I don't know how much is done in schools anymore. I mean, certainly when I learned to cycle, we had quite, I suppose, a reasonable amount of training. But cycling around roads somewhere like London, it takes a certain way of cycling.
In what way? From a non-cycler, it would be quite interesting to know.
You have to be aware of what the traffic's doing. You have to sort of cycle so that you are basically aware of what's around you, and not to do things like go on the inside of buses.
Of course.
There are those sorts of obvious things that some cyclists do. But I think almost a lot of these accidents seem to happen as well because car drivers and bus drivers and lorry drivers are not aware of the cyclists.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you can solve that problem because I think it's quite difficult, obviously, if you're driving a bus, to be aware of what cyclists. Yeah, exactly.
I'm Mimi Launder.
And I'm Samaya Anwar.
And this has been Cycling on Campus.